All right, and welcome everybody to a very special edition of Shadow City Mysteries House of Skye, where we go one on one with some of your favorite characters, which is all of them, right? Right?
Even
So,
me. No.
yeah, even, yeah, we'll start. We'll start with the best.
Hey, can't complain. Can't complain about that.
That's right. So, joining us today is Winston Clark. Winston, please introduce yourself.
Winston Clark. I play Peryn Kestai, who is a member of the Church of Astra. He is a mystic, which means he's got. He is one of the people who has otherworldly magical powers in the Shadow City Mysteries world in Soretto. Um,
But those don't really exist. There
but
are no
you know
supernatural powers.
they're rumors mainly. It's just
Yeah,
something
it's
that the
true.
church tells people that they have so they stay in power.
100%. 100%. The so that's excellent. So Winston, we've been playing this for a while now. So we've
Yep.
been playing 13 sessions, which isn't bad. And you guys have all just recently or about to level up to third level
Yep.
in the story. And when we were chatting when we did a little behind the scenes before the actual play started, um yeah, you probably had some thoughts or ideas of who you were going to be playing, where direction the character is going to go in roughly, right? But now you've been playing the character a little bit. How does the character evolve differently than you originally imagined?
Well, I feel like Perrin's a little bit more assertive than he was initially, or I initially thought he would be. Um, at first, when I had the character planned out, I figured he would be a little bit more passive, a little bit more maintaining his composure, trying to work as kind of a peacekeeper until some inciting event happened and he basically snaps and then he kind of like unleashes fury or all the rage that's kind of any rage that's held inside of him. But it's not that's not really how that's worked out. I mean, there's no like real inciting, um, like nothing really inciting like that has
Not a
occurred.
not a not a
Not as of yet.
not a sweater, a rat sweater, or
Well, I mean that's different. That's like you can't really be um, uh, full of white hot rage when you're being gnawed upon by like large rodents. Um, but what ended up turning out is that he ends up. So I feel like a parent wants to. He is in a uh, with the Sky household. He's kind of in an important position. The church has kind of trusted him to be in that position, and he feels like he has to show that he's the person for the job.
hmm,
And as a result, he feels like he has to show more confidence in himself and in his abilities. So he ends up uh, saying things or kind of being a little bit more curt, a little bit more direct to uh, sometimes to his compatriots in the Sky household. Oddly enough, more so to the people in the church. He's actually kind of stood up more to the people in the church um, in his eyes to kind of show I've got this. Just trust me with
hmm,
this. Um,
it's fair.
and
It's
I
fair.
think that's yeah, and I think that's where he ended up going with it. So he ends up kind of being a little bit more forceful now than I intended him to be,
Sure.
but still
Sure.
trying to maintain that bit of himself and that bit of peace.
Do you feel that that's been motivated by the other players, either a lack of forcefulness with them or more the fact that they are tilted a certain direction?
Well, okay, so I
How's that dynamic going? Because you knew
I
going
can't.
in that you'd be like the odd man out, right? But
Yeah, yeah. That's the other reason why I didn't think that Perrin would. I thought that Perrin would be a little bit more passive and like
mm,
he would basically just be, "Hey guys, wait, stop! You know, don't do that." Which he is that to some degree, but I think he also understands how the church operates, and how where the actual power there is, and he's much more fearful of them than he is of some of the secular things that are going on. Because he kind of knows what they're capable of.
Yeah. No, agreed. I think eventually we're going to see, we update that image of Peryn. He's got like a scar across his eye and some mud and chops, and he's just a cudgel that's just covered in, dry blood.
If he remembers to bring it,
If he remembers to bring
he
it,
has this tendency.
It's always the case. So what would you say has surprised you the most about the game so far?
So probably how lethal the game actually can be. Like when I'm with Peryn, he's a healer. He's gonna be squishy.
In theory.
Well, in theory, yeah. Like, well, he takes medicine. He's got medicine. He's got medical skills.
Yeah.
So if there's any doctor among them, I think Farank has some medical knowledge.
Yeah, a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, some of his history, that's kind of what he did. He worked as a medic in the when he was in the military service. So he's also not a fighter. He's not like he's the person who people talk to when they have problems about problems of faith or he handles the bake sales, or he deals with the parishioners. He's not somebody who's going to be jumping on the front lines. He's been on the front lines, but not in the regards to the way somebody like Quinn has.
Yeah. No, very true. But how deadly the game is. I mean, we all first and second level, right? But
yeah, but I mean, of the 2 fights we've been in, 2 people have almost died.
Sure.
So I mean,
it's true. And some NPCs have died.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're NPCs, so I mean, you can't break an omelet without killing some NPCs.
Kills with the union workers will remember that. Yeah. So what would you say you enjoyed the most about Shadow City Mysteries?
I actually really like the setting. Okay. I like it's like the city, all the personalities that we run into. Everybody's got a unique character. We've run into the Winters woman who was
Jellify Winters.
Jellify Winters, and we've got Siskin of the Iron Union. He was a lot cooler than I thought he was going to be. You get Thief, who could be complete and utter opposites of everybody else who we've run into in that list of people. Everybody has their own personality. Yeah. Everybody has their own way that they act, they do. Even the places that we've been to, we've been to upscale bars, hole in the wall dives, dancing halls. And each of them has their own vibe. They've got their own thing going on where you can kind of go, you can tell this is where this is. This is where this is. I wouldn't be welcome here. I would be more welcome here. Nobody would pay any attention to me here. That kind of thing.
Yeah. One of the early catchphrases for Shadow City Mysteries is, even in a world with no color, not everything is black and white, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just very pure to the setting, that we have these distinct kind of things, and we give we want the things to stand out and have certain tropes, especially the noir setting, right? So the characters, they have their names, but to the chagrin of Steven and Brandis behind the scenes, I always go in with they have a code name, right? So it's the politician, right? This Jellify. So something that kind of emboldens them or gives them a unique, well, not necessarily unique, but an identity within the world, and then I build around that kind of piece, right? So and I think it will, and again, I think it leads well to noir, right? You have the detective and the femme fatale and the whatever, right? And then how do you build around those tropes and make it feel so. It's good that you're seeing those elements and you're feeling those elements. In there.
Oh yeah,
that's definitely the idea for it.
You get that whole 1920s aesthetic, but then you've thrown in a little bit of steampunk in there, and it's a lot of like you get the noir feel out of it, and it's like you expect to be going to a juke joint at some point.
Yeah, at some point, maybe. Yeah, well,
I'm sure Frank will have something to do with that. But.
I'm sure that'll lead somewhere from someplace else there. So with all that in mind, what are you hoping to see more of in the House of Skye series? What are you looking to see more? So this also gives me at least an idea also of I know where the story is moving overall, but it's easier to know what you guys are looking for.
I kind of like kind of hunting down clues and like piecing things together and kind of solving solving the mysteries, even though we're not really good at it apparently.
No, there's just a lot of mysteries going on at the moment.
Yeah,
so it's you're pulling out a lot of different strings instead of chasing one red line, right? So
yeah,
that's fine.
Normally I in other games I've played, I'm usually I would play more of an investigative character, kind of like closer to what Matt's Ignatus is.
Oh yeah, the savant.
But I decided I wanted to do something a little bit different from what I normally would. But it's still like, even after like just games in general, I'm still like connecting.
Everybody contributes though, because the good thing is at least the way we do investigation in this, and it is a 5e system, but we still, we do a lot of skill challenges and so forth. So the clues can be medicine based, right? So somebody like yourself who's skilled in medicine might inspect the body and find something, whereas somebody who has nature might find something else, while somebody who has a toolkit, proficiency in something may find something else. So there's lots of ways to get information. So it doesn't really exclude everyone. And then again, the way the characters are kind of designed is they all have skills that kind of contribute to investigation and so forth. To solve mysteries or the conspiracies that are in the world and everything like that. So that's the hope is everyone kind of is able to kind of go in that direction a little bit, right?
Yeah. Like in some cases, it may not feel like it would be natural for Peryn to do it, but I can't not do something.
No, you gotta do this. I'm the same way. I play one character only, no matter what I play. And so there's always a little bit of knowledge, learning the world and investigating, because that's the part that I eat up, right?
Yeah.
So even if I play the dumbest guy in the world with fighter, I'm still writing down little notes or whatever, because it's what I want to know. But yeah.
Well, I mean, so even if it's just for you,
just for me, exactly, right?
I need to know this guy's name.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe not. I don't have that instinct to ask the name of everything like everyone does, which is also my downfall as a GM. What's that character's name? Random person I just made up? Good question. Let me see.
You need like a random name generator.
I have that now. Brandis.
I was gonna say,
Brandis has now outfitted me with a list of first names and last names that I can go to. The problem is I don't have that readily. I need to make that more readily available when I'm here. But so we're gonna flip the script for a moment, and we're gonna have you ask me some questions, since that way I can maybe shed some more light on the world or whatever from the other side of the actual play.
Okay, so how badly have we taken things off the rails from what you had planned?
Not. I mean, I won't say not off the rails. The thing is that you all definitely, and I think this is just Brandis, Steven, and I chat about this because we run a lot of different games, and it's always interesting to see what you all go after as opposed to what we think you're going to go after, right? And so I'm constantly like, and I realize like I can give something so much backstory and so much all this juicy stuff, and then you're like, random person who said hello to you in the hallway, and they're like, "Oh, it's our new best friend," and I'm like,
the little old lady in the building.
Yeah. Now Steven got on me. He's like, "You gave that little old lady more backstory than like any of the other characters I run into." I was like, "Because I had to, like, literally on the spot," and it's fine. And that helps build the world and makes it more like you're living in it, right? Which is perfectly fine. But definitely, I would say like off the rails. It's just I'll drop like a tidbit of multiple things, and the thing that I think is the most important, or at least the thing that I think you're gonna like run after, is the thing you forget about, and then like all of a sudden you're like, we are not gonna let this innocuous statement die and just go, and then you're like, we don't have any more clues. And I'm like, actually, you have like a stack of clues over here that you haven't even touched. And you're like, no, we ran them all dry, ran all the evidence right. Now, granted, again, this is just the nature of like playing weekly. People have lives. You're not really living in the world. So, you know, it's also up to me to remind you all like what all your options are that are on the table. And when they have
I will tell you, I need that.
Yeah. And when you have a big open world, like, and I like to run big open worlds, right? Like I won't say full sandboxes, right? Because there are stories and things going on, but I like to create living worlds, and I like to let you kind of go in what direction you think you're going to go in. Right? So I'll let you chase the strings a little bit, but some of those strings have gone on for like multiple sessions, and I'm like,
all right, guys, can we go back to this?
I was like, that guy's alive, y'all. Like, literally, other than like putting him, you know, whatever. I'm giving you enough, and you're like, I'm going to follow up. I'm going to sleep in his house and wait in his bed until he comes. And I'm like,
he like kicks the door. What are you doing in my house?
What about your house? But yeah, just like, what is this all about? Like, yeah, I was like that. But again, that's the fun things, right? It's that's why it's mutual storytelling. That's why you're sharing the space with people or whatever. But yeah, I mean, can I say that I think it's not, again, it's not derailed. It's just the amount of time it takes to get through a day and is always surprising to me. And I realize that it's usually about 2 sessions, right? So it means that we can usually do the morning, and then we can kind of do the afternoon and evening, which is fine for pacing wise or whatever. It's just, again, originally sometimes I'm like, I have all this stuff, and I'm like, we're gonna get through all this stuff, and then I'm like, wow, we got through the first sentence I wrote. And I'm like, cool. Like,
but think of all the other stuff you've got left over that you can work with.
Sure. This is you know, when I look at it, I'm like, this is going to be a much longer campaign than I thought. Which again, yeah, there's no necessarily end in sight. And we just hit their level, so that's cool. It's a major milestone. Everyone will get to get into their subclasses and stuff. But yeah, what else you got for me?
So I should say that with all the stuff that Shadow City Mysteries is doing, because you've got like the book coming out, it's getting out of final edits now, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
it'll be out.
The manuscript is so that TBD. The manuscript is done, and we'll be distributing that now out to all the backers. Our editor is one of the most popular editors in the tabletop space, and he's very booked for a little while. So that delays things a little bit, and then we can't do the layout until the book's fully edited. So we could do a little bit of pre-prep or whatever. The good news is our sensitivity reader will kind of get a jump, because our editor has done a rough pass on it, so it's not like it's totally raw, but yeah, so that'll be coming out soon. But it'll be distributed to our backers soon via itch.io and DriveThruRPG, without any of the pretty. It'll just be a really nice, orally organized PDF.
Yeah,
then we'll get to final product. So not where I had hoped we would be, but very understandable in the situation we're in. But we're gonna get stuff out to the backers soon.
Yeah, but you've got like, you have a tabletop version of the game. You've also got you've got the visual novel that's on itch.io and Steam.
On Steam, that's right. So yeah, with Case Files, Rise of the Rat King is the first one that's coming out soon. Yeah.
So how does that like interactivity work there? I mean, is it just, are we talking about like characters from prominent characters from the tabletop game will be shown in the visual novel, or is there like kind of crossover?
They're all connected, right? So it's transmedia in a sense, but it's tricky, right? So we have to be careful. Well, I have to be careful, because in this instance, when I'm portraying certain characters, I need to make sure that they're as true to how we're portraying them in other spaces. But at the same time, I'm not too worried about it, because my take on it has always been that Shadow City, when you run Shadow City at home and you Shadow City Mysteries tabletop game at home, or you play the visual novel, or you eventually play our larger game, the Shadow City Mysteries Clockwork Noir, that it's your game. And so it's your Shadow City mystery. So you build the world how you want to, right? That's how we do the city map and everything like that. So the thing is I'm just highlighting key characters that we think are significant in the world.
Okay.
So the first visual novel is The Rise of the Rat King, which will focus on the Rat King. Surprise. And so, you know, trying to portray him in a certain way. But because the visual novels are kind of prequels to our larger game and kind of prequels to House of Skye, you know, how you would play the visual novel and how the Rat King ends up at the end and the story concludes will set the world differently than how perhaps I'm portraying the character right now. But I want to say that the way I'm portraying the character right now isn't necessarily the prime story, right? Like it's not like this is not what I would say is what's the word for it?
Not the all be all of
yeah. It's not, but it's not. It starts with a C. I think.
Characterization.
No, when it's the core story, like but like the way this story, like so the choices that I'm making aren't necessarily the choices that are expected the world is set on.
Okay.
There's a word for that, and I'm old.
Yeah, don't ask me about vocabulary right now.
All right. Oh, there you go. That's fair.
Vocabulary is not the time for me right
now. No, not the time for you right now. And so there's that. Yeah, and so that's the tricky part. But yeah, if you go into the in the book, the Shadow City Mysteries role-playing game, we have a section of who's who, and I'm highlighting a lot of those NPCs in the House of Skye game, which is kind of show you who's out there. And then the visual novels, there's 6 of them. They focus on secondary characters to the larger game that we're working towards.
Okay.
And so we have like, you know, the Rat King, Jelathai Winters is the politician. She's in Raven's Revenge. The Cult of Tenebris shop owner is another character. Siskin has a story of his own that we'll tell. Madame Rose has her own story, and there's and someone who has not come on screen yet has a story as well, actually. So maybe we'll see where that goes. So yeah. So before we dive into Peryn Kestai's spa day,
big day out, yeah.
Let's big day out. Let's jump over here and take a look at what you've already got, and let's talk about a little bit like how this may have come into play or not come into play in the 13 episodes previously. So we've got Sure Faith, which you get right because of your faction, right? So that's an ability that when you fail a saving throw, you can choose to succeed instead. You may use this ability once per long rest. We probably could use that when you were dying.
I was gonna say, did I use that with the after the rats? But probably not.
I don't think so.
I don't think I had to though. I was.
Did you? You didn't fail. I don't think you failed. You didn't fail.
Yeah.
I don't think you failed the saving throw. So, but that's a pretty handy skill.
Yeah.
And another reason why I'm going through these just to make sure that we're aware that they actually exist.
It's like, did you know you could do this?
Did you know that you could do this? Isn't that amazing?
Oh no, I'd do that more often.
And so you also for your mind, for faction, you have Iron Mind, right? So you have resistance to psychic damage, which hasn't come up yet.
Yeah.
And you gain advantage on saving throws to avoid or end the charmed or frightened conditions, which also hasn't come up yet.
I didn't know about that. So.
See, there you go. And against the effects, against effects that deal psychic damage. So, you guys are, the Church of Astra is very, please no psychic damage. Please don't harm my mind. And then as a feat, you got erudite from your background, which gives you educated, which we do kind of remember sometimes between you and Ignatus.
Yeah, between the two of us, I think we've managed. Like, hey, you've got this. Like, oh, thanks.
Yeah. So when you make an intelligence check, you have advantage if the topic is relevant to a standard academic or scientific curriculum, which a lot of times in investigations it is. And you got a skill proficiency. I don't know which one you did, but that's okay. I don't know your life.
Probably
and then
probably nature. It's probably the either nature or medical. Either nature or
maybe.
medical, one of the two.
Yeah. Mystic sense you got for being a mystic, right?
Okay.
So this comes up a lot. So you always have detect magic prepared, which means, you know, with the wisdom perception check, you can figure out if there's something mystical in the area.
Yep.
Which doesn't always come into play because, again, the world is kind of, I won't say anti-magic, but low magic, right? The idea is that there's not a ton of magic floating around, and there's a reason for that, which, you know, may or less come into play more often. Yeah. And then spell casting. So you got spells, and that's cool. And what are those spells? Those spells are these.
Yep.
So let's see. Guidance, haven't used yet, really. Light, haven't used yet. Spare the dying, got to use that. Congrats.
Yeah.
As we were referring to deadly stuff. Thaumaturgy, haven't had a chance to use that yet. Detect magic, you've used that a good bit.
Yeah, that's go to at this point.
Is bless?
I've used bless. I've used bless several times. Yeah. I did attempt command.
True, but against a mechanical thing.
It was going to work against
ain't got no mind. Ain't got no mind. Define favor. Haven't used that, but you just picked that one up.
Yeah, that one's new. I did use mage armor, and heroism is also.
You're just getting heroism now.
Yeah.
And then now you're going to third. You haven't actually gotten access to these yet.
Yeah, these I haven't actually done anything with. I'm just finding these.
These find these. So you get prayer of healing, mind spike, calm emotions, and detect thoughts. So that's pretty cool. What else you got? Oh, and then you at level 2 had a spectral alignment. So you get to choose from blue, green, and red. And you've been leaning on blue lately.
Yeah, blue's been easier for me just because it helps for me as a mediator between people.
Yeah, right. Because it gives you what does it do?
It gives me
disadvantage on saving throws with spells.
Yeah, they have disadvantage. Yep. Yeah. And then I have advantage on saving throws to avoid charmed and frightened conditions.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah,
which actually when combined with your other thing, you really don't even need that. Yeah.
Not really, but you know what? I'll just hang on to it for a bit.
That's fine. And now that and this is assuming now you get your subclass, and since you're a member of the Church of Astra, you can choose Spine Speaker. You could be an Oracle as well if you wanted to be.
Yeah.
Or you could switch factions if you want.
Yeah, I don't see that happening anytime soon.
All right. Oh, there you go.
But definitely, I mean, that would make too many other people happy. I can't do that.
There you go. It's true.
But yeah, so as far as the Church of Astra, I think sticking with the Mind Speaker and going with the gold alignment is probably one of the things that would have been my goal anyway. Sure. I mean, it's pretty much Peryn. He wants to be a faithful, honored member of the church. He wants to do good, and that's kind of the pathway to do that for him, or at least that's how he sees it.
He's a do-gooder. I get you. But yeah, and now you don't I think right now you have disadvantage on initiative, which I don't know if that came into play last time we were.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a thing later, but honestly, me going last is not.
But now you don't. Now you don't have to worry about that. That goes away, and you get to you leak emotions. That's a great description. You leak emotions that even the non-sensitive could pick up. So you're gonna have disadvantage on your deception checks. Yeah. Oh.
Now here's the question though. Because with the other spectrums, I can switch those. For the gold alignment, that's not always there. I can.
Yeah, it's true. No, it's not always there. It's just whenever. Yeah. So just keep in mind that when you're in your gold alignment, you aren't very deceptive, and you give other people advantage on insight checks against you. Yeah, you wear your heart on your sleeve. Is that Is the way. And then the other part is, well, you already have this. So we talked about it already. So the thing with mind speakers, like each of the different subclasses have kind of specialty spells that they deal with, and for some strange reason, the Church of Astra is enchantment. And so, and you're going to be picking up heroism, calm emotions, and detect thoughts.
Yep.
Because that's what everybody on your team wants. Is have detect thoughts. Calm emotions.
I mean,
that's good.
It's helpful for me.
Yeah.
It could be helpful for them, because if I'm detecting the thoughts of members of the church, then or anybody who is maybe actively trying to work against the Skye household, then they're going to know it before anybody. They're going to know it, and they'll have advantage to deal with that.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that. That's cool. That's just that's good.
Or I can just not tell them I have it.
That's true. Or
which is probably what's going to happen.
Hopefully, they just won't watch this episode. So there you go. Which is probably true, because I think they get.
They don't watch this. They never watch this episode.
I know. It's yeah. But we appreciate you watching this episode.
We do.
Whoever you are, thank you for your support. So now we'll take it to a little bit of in game. So it was Wednesday evening. Everyone was heading to bed. You could have done your nightly prayers and anything else that you wanted to do. The next day, Eston alluded to everyone getting a spa day, but don't really know what that really meant. But you get the feeling it really wasn't going to be a spa day. So the next morning there is another envelope full of cash, and a note saying to head that you are expected at the High Temple of the Church of Astra in the Skyline, which is not very far. Actually, Skycrest, which is known as the church district.
Okay.
And actually, it's right next to Silverwood. So it's actually one of the closest places for you.
Would it be close enough to walk, or would I still need to get?
No, you'd still need to take a ride into town. But Hans is offering to drop people off before to where their respective places are going.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it was that close, then I wouldn't probably bother Hans to do it.
The Skye estate, while beautiful and everything, is very far away from town. So it's I always describe it's like Atlanta. It's 30 minutes everywhere, right? At minimum, like 30 minutes to 45 minutes to get anywhere. So the Skye estate is 30 to 45 minutes to get, unless you're in the neighborhood, like. But it even feels like even getting to Delphi Winters is just in the same neighborhood. Maybe takes 30 minutes. Right?
And then why would you want to go?
Why would you want to go? Well, now you know that, but prior to that, you're like,
that's true.
This is great. Yeah. So so Hans will drop you off. You are familiar. You probably have been to the High Temple of Church Astra for major festivals, events, and so forth. It is a ginormous temple dedicated to all the gods. So it's lavish, and it's turned stone and embedded, and there's metallics to honoring all of the gods, right? There's silver for Ostala, there's copper for Tal, there's bronze and iron for Zella, and they don't, because the world is black and white. There is no stained. I mean, there's stained glass, but the way they do stained glass is the metal that they use to hold the pieces is actually where they put the most effort into, right? And stained glass, usually it's the glass, obviously, right? But because there's no color, there's the different monochromatic variations within the glass. It's the soldering, right? I guess it's soldering that they use. It's the metal that connects all the pieces of the glass together is where they do all most of the embellishments. And so very largely you have the sun and you have the moon. You have the sun for Tal, and you have the moon for Ostala, and you have the clear sky, the stars for Zella, very clearly in the middle. Now, but it's not always in the middle, right? So they're this church is very careful to not honorific any one particular god. And so there are variations of the placements of the three, so that no one is considered
Above
to be
the other.
above the other and the highest, or in all places, right? So in some places there's more of a, in different corners and parts of the church itself, there are different honorifics to the particular gods, and then also their servants, so Polar and Kilos and Morleth, and the church itself, again, very beautiful, very well kept, lots of different church officials and folks are running about, and your note just says to arrive at this place. It doesn't tell you whom you're meeting or for what exactly, and at some point you just see folks keep scuttling about. So I don't know, what would you like to do?
Well, Peryn, because he doesn't get his out this way very often, like you say, he probably has been here for different ceremonies and things like that. He's always kind of seen it as been kind of marveled at the beauty of the temple itself, and he kind of would kind of just walk looking at some of the architecture, some of the statuary to the gods, and kind of maybe offering like a silent praise to various ones as he goes past. But really just kind of looking and just taking everything in while he just kind of walks through this beautiful structure.
Yeah, and as you are there, and are you detecting magic? Are you doing anything like that? Or are you just are you using magic sense or anything? Or
initially he kind of wouldn't be. I mean, he's kind of like just in an awestruck place, like going into a museum and just kind of like looking around to see where I don't know, just to look for different signatures on a masterpiece.
Sure,
it's not really something he would focus on. He's just
no problem.
Like
you see that everywhere. I mean, like this church houses some of the greatest tributes to the gods, right? From some of the most famous for hundreds of years, some of the earliest renditions of praise to the gods, in different forms. Some of them little off-putting, like you're like, oh, that's interesting, but like you're like, I guess a glorification. There's a lot of a lot of the early descriptions of angels, in the Bible, right? Like multiple eyes and things like that, right? And so everyone's like, oh yeah, that's fine. That's they're not, it's not, it's the more as you get closer to this age and time in the world, do you see more beatific imagery of the gods. There was a time definitely when the gods were portrayed little rougher than they currently are. But still nobody questions it or goes against it. They're just like, this was necessary for the gods at this time, and now the gods are with us and or try or wish to be with us and everything like that. And so
so there's a lot of metal, or like a lot of metallics in turnstone, but there's like a lot of turnstone in the structures and everything.
Yeah, so this place is, well, like many churches, is like very expensive. Like the amount of, I won't say wasted, but resources that have been put towards beautiful, like making this place beatific is insane. Like if you were to actually, like, this place is probably outside of like some of the higher government offices and stuff, like is for especially for turnstone, right? Turnstone is again the rare mineral of the world that, like, countries are at war with, and like
just opulence of Turnstone.
This opposite of Turnstone is everywhere here, right? But again, it makes sense. Remember, the country is an autocracy, right?
Yeah.
So the church and the government are one and the same for all things. So
actually, okay. So I think what I'll do, Peryn will actually kind of like look around to see if, like, almost to see if anybody is like looking, just kind of checking to see, and then
why actually they are.
And then he will use his he will actually use his mystic sense to look at the turnstone, just because he likes the way that the auras and colors kind of shimmer.
Sure.
And it kind of feels like it's something different.
It's very different than the rest of the world.
Yeah,
right?
like
it feels
like he's communing with the gods themselves when he does that.
Indeed, like Turnstone is the the color of the gods, right? And so as you're doing that, you feel a very, very strong presence walking towards you, actually. And one of these images will be the final image of the but this is our and you recognize immediately, like, I don't even have to give you a history roll. You recognize immediately that the person coming towards you, and slightly androgynous, but is known as the High Priestess, Unina Brightway. They are the Unina Brightway. They are the highest level member within the church, within the city. And they approach towards you, and they go, "Alkalite Kestai."
Yes. I'm sorry. You're what I call her?
High Priestess.
There's her grace. I'm sorry, High Priestess. I didn't know if there was like a grace or anything like that.
No, I mean, you could. I mean, there's no wrong with that per se. And in this, their skin is pallor white, but with gold. Like, so anywhere you see kind of markings, just imagine the face is painted in gold, and the vestments that they are wearing are also turnstone threading and so forth, and gold as can be, and shines very, very brightly. And they simply they greet you. They like, "I've heard good things about you, Alkalite. Do you have a moment?"
Yes, I certainly do.
Yeah, I mean, you are here by my invitation. I apologize for I went through other means. I had been told that you've reached a moment in your training when you would need to make important decisions about your life, and so I wanted to speak with you.
I would be honored. Yes. Up until this point, Perrin is had been like, once he saw them, he kind of like shielded his eyes and didn't look directly at her. Once they said that, he actually like looks up at them.
Yeah, they have a very gold distinct aura about them. They gold and I won't say red. Actually, they have a dual aura. So gold and red, you see, but
okay,
yeah. Well, excellent. I've heard good things from members of the church, and so I wanted to talk with you and see where your thoughts and speak about the gods, if you will.
I don't know that I would be much company for that. Obviously, I'd have to defer to your knowledge of the gods, but I'd be more than happy to speak with you.
Yes, I would not necessarily expect you to know everything yet. You were but new to this. Well, not new, but there are many secrets many knowledges of the church that come in time. And so I think perhaps now is a good moment to discuss those things. If the church is still your priority.
Oh, of course it is. I can think of nothing more than to serve the to serve the gods, to shine the light of Zillah and on all that would hear their words. I can think of nothing better.
Well, remember, Zella is the clear night of Skye. So the and the stars.
Yes, the beacon. Yes, the beacon.
Is the beacon. Is the beacon.
She's the beacon, the shining beacon.
The lantern is the constellations of the seven fingers. It's true. But let us talk over. And she just kind of takes you over to the to the pews where others are praying and so forth, but not too close to the to everything. Wait, what happened?
No, that's it's a little technical difficulty.
I know.
No, we're good. We're good. We're good.
And so the high priestess just mentions to you. So it's like, so you, what do you find? Do you feel what do you think our purpose is? As minds, as those who wish to speak with the God.
I feel that it is the church's position to guide mankind to the light of salvation, and that mankind can only in gratitude serve the God's will.
Yes, that is close to what. Do you know what the God's will is, though?
I mean, from what my personal thoughts is that they would will us to be beneficial to ourselves and to the world, and to be a light, a beacon to each other.
No, the gods wish to be among us, and in order to do that, we need to find those that are worthy to bring them here. Much like the autarch. But the autarch is only one of the gods. All the gods and their servants wish to be among us. And only then can the people find salvation.
So, forgive me for my clearly childish understanding. It was my thought that that the gods do walk with us, though we don't see them. We don't we can't touch them, but we feel their presence in everything. Do we not?
We do, but they can be so much more. That is always what they have wanted. And so we find those that are worthy of their being.
So, are you saying that they wish to, when you say they wish to walk among us, they wish to walk among us as we do, as people?
No, the autarch is so much more than that. And yet they are.
Yes, clearly.
Well, that is what we mean. They wish to find vessels that can embody them, or they can embody and be here amongst us.
Well, then that is truly a noble and probably the ultimate way to serve them is to serve as their vessel.
Well, it can be, but again, if you're not, there is also worthiness in being one who helps bring that about as well. Not all are worthy to be a vessel of the gods.
Ah, that would make sense.
And with our abilities, we can suss out those who are potential vessels, purity of soul, purity of mind, purity of body. And there are many. I mean, there are many manuscripts out there that speak of what some would say prophecies, but that speak of what it takes to be a proper vessel, and so we seek those out, and we perform the rituals, and should they succeed, then the gods will walk amongst us, and should they fail, we will take care of those that we have led down a path that did not find fulfillment.
No, it is regrettable, but I've seen in my past experience that not all can be saved.
No, not all can. But that is a different branch. I do not believe that you wish to be the flaming fist of Tal. Or,
No.
uh,
No, I mean in regards to uh, those chosen as vessels who are not capable of doing so.
No, we take care of them.
So, so what you're saying is there are servants who actively seek out vessels for the gods.
Yes.
And is forgive my presumption, is that what you wish to discuss with me?
No, I just wish to discuss that that this is a path. It is a way, a nobler purpose for what we do. And especially mind seekers, those that can detect the thoughts of others, those that can be a part of the world, and understand the flock that we walk amongst. It is for us to help to guide those individuals.
For the mind, I've heard vaguely of mind speakers. I imagine that they were more the purview of the Inquisition.
No, we are members of the church. The Inquisitors are the Inquisition, but Templars as well. There are, of course, those preachers who speak to the flock as well. But mind speakers are the ones who hold the flock and protect them and guide them. We wield the powers that the gods have allowed us to, and in time, those powers help us do a number of different things. But ultimately, at least I feel, in my experience with the church over the years, and as the high priestess and guidance of the church to the people, it is our sacred duty, besides keeping those that are simply here to exist, is for us to find those with the most potential for the gods.
Well, I was unaware of that specific.
Most are, so don't worry. The church. We as a church do not go about speaking of such things. But now that you are of a certain experience and knowledge, it is time to to walk a certain path amongst us. Not all mind speakers, even, I mean, this is information perhaps maybe, I won't say too soon for you, but early, not all early members and those potential mind speakers know such things, but you're doing good works within the city, and I am told that the people that you serve with and work with, they are a challenge, but there is potential there.
They can be they can be a bit of a handful, I would say, but they're no more difficult than many others that of the congregation who have questions about things. They can also be once they are brought to the truth, then they will accept it. They have to accept
Sure.
it. It's the truth.
It is the truth, and that's we work a more subtle way than say the Inquisitors or the preachers of, or even the Templars. So, I will over these next couple days and induct you into the ways of the mind speaker. I will teach you to attune your spectrum to the golden light of the gods, and I will teach you a few spells that I know to better utilize your skills and abilities.
Or Peryn takes a deep bow.
No, Winston does.
takes a deep bow and says, I thank you for blessing me with this offer, and I humbly accept your aid in this. And again, I thank you for making this choice and calling on me for this.
Of course, I feel you have potential, and so I wish to see this potential through and see it rise and shine brightly upon the city. And with that, training montage, 2-day training montage, you fighting, running up a thing, lifting, yeah, woo, yeah. So we'll fade the black, and we'll pick up
punching wood, punching it like rocks and stuff.
Yeah, you're cutting bamboo down, with just
with my mind,
with your mind, exactly, your mind spike, just slicing bamboo. And then we'll pick up where where everyone picks up on Saturday. So about your next 2 days are going to be basically doing basic church stuff at first, it seems, but then you realize that then she walks you through the different spells that you're picking up. So reading the thoughts of others, and heroism and other things. And then also tuning, at first, it feels hard and difficult to necessarily get that golden light, but once you do, you definitely feel that you are more in tune with the world, and that turnstone that you were viewing before, right? And you were looking at it because it made you feel special or whatever. You feel even more in tune with that now that you have that golden aura about you that you can call upon. So, yeah. So before we switch over to our next one-on-one session special, we'll end this very special episode where we didn't talk about drugs or
we didn't, but kids stay off or maybe do. I'm not your boss.
That's right, we don't know your life. Winston, give us a shout out of where people can find you on the interwebs.
Well, Winston Clark, I can be found on the interwebs at I have a webcomic, which is subconsciouseye.com, which will be posting hopefully very soon. It's been a bit of a bump in things, so I'm trying to frantically get things ready. But I also have my socials at either Subconscious Eye or Subconscious Eye Studios on Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook if you're doing that. And I think that's it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Winston. And we're gonna do a 5-minute intermission because I realize I can't do this for 2 hours straight without a break. So we're gonna do a 5-minute intermission. You're gonna listen to some chill lo-fi tunes, and then I'm going to be bringing on Ariel, and we'll do our one-on-one session. So get ready for the intermission and the lo-fi. All right. Thank you, Winston. Cheers.
Thanks. See you later.
And we're back. We're gonna mess up some things real fast while I set up something. All right. So back from intermission, we've switched out our one of our favorite players for our next favorite player, Ariel. So Ariel, give us a quick intro here.
Hi, I'm Ariel Kasten. I play Reggie Wrenne, who is one of the 2 infiltrators in Shadow City Mysteries House of Skye. She's a member of the Brass Consortium and is still finding her footing, I think.
I think everyone is. I think that was a kind of a thing we were just discussing with even with Winston previously. So yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's still early on, right? I mean, yeah. We're 13 episodes in, sessions in. everyone's just about to hit third level, so it's interesting times in the House of Skye.
It certainly is.
And so I guess the question is, when we did a behind the scenes before the actual play started, and so everybody kind of created their characters and had thoughts and probably lofty ambitions of where their character was going to go, what they were going to be, and where it is. And the game, much like life, sometimes doesn't always go the way you expect it to. So out of curiosity, like, now that you've been playing your character for 13 sessions, how has your character evolved differently than you originally imagined?
I think maybe it's her lack of evolution that surprises. I mean, she's evolving, but I did not anticipate her being quite as wary of Eston as she was, and it was just kind of the perfect storm of instances to kind of get her hackles up. And because of that, I feel like she's kind of off her game. When I started, I had in my head that she was just kind of this. She'd be a little bit more charismatic and a little bit more smooth talking, and I don't feel she is at all right now. But I'm using the excuse that she's feeling off balance.
Sure. And I don't think all those opportunities have come up yet either, right? So I mean, there's been a lot of investigation, but the investigation hasn't always been involved with people. Usually when there are people involved, it's a large group, so you haven't always had the moment to kind of do. I think we kind of saw a little bit with Lore, right?
Yeah.
Talk with Lore,
Yeah,
so.
and then right before she went in to talk to Lore, she had I don't know if I could call it a heart-to-heart with Hans, almost like more of an interrogation of Hans.
Hans doesn't get interrogated. Hans is, it's it's nice that you think that, though. It's
we got to have a good conversation. He answered a lot of her questions, but that meant she went into this situation talking to Laura with so much on her mind that even in that, she was a little bit just very blunt.
100%.
I'm here. Let's do this.
No, but there's I mean, it's then it does become a little bit more intimidation, I guess, than actual deception or persuasion, right? Like, there's a different form of how intimidation manifests itself, right? It's not always like interrogation. It's just like, I'm just very direct or whatever, and some people respect that, or because they're off put by it, they don't know what else to do other than the answer, right? So there's something to that. 100%. So what surprised you most about the game so far?
Honestly, I had to think about this for a bit, because I went into the game pretty open-minded and I read all the materials you gave us. So I felt like I had a pretty good handle on a lot of it stepping in. But it is really cool to me how much being in a different faction will change the class that you are, or the way that you play that class. Because in a traditional D&D game, you've got two rogues, and you might come from a different place and be a different
race, right?
Or whatever. But it doesn't really differentiate that much unless you are specifically trying to. But in this game, it feels much more seamless to me.
Well, yeah, and that's, I mean, again, I was chatting a little bit with Winston about this, about the noir and how we work really hard to have those tropes. And the thing is, I don't think this is a knock against traditional D&D. It's actually I think it's better now that they moved away from it, right? It's when we don't have race, right? You're all humans, and so you have factions, and so with factions we can go a little bit deeper into kind of making them more distinct. Whereas like you run into a lot of appropriately danger zones when you go with race and D&D, and you try to make it to whatever, right? And so I think that's great, but I think that is the difference by removing race and by having factions kind of be our replacement. It does allow us to put the spin that makes them more distinct and very particular in the city. And I mean, and third, part of the reason we're doing this session is you get to pick your subclass, right? And we have generic subclasses for each of the all the different classes. But because we have the factions, that also means that the subclasses have potentially have a unique aspect to them, right? At least in our initial starter book, which is coming out soon. we only have the generic for each of them, and then we have 3 faction options there. Eventually, we actually have a subclass for each faction, but that'll be in the future. But the way you're going is, you picked Infiltrator, and you're looking at becoming a what is the one that you do?
Counterweight.
That's right, counterweight, which we'll go into more in a bit. But then this is also the point where, even though you mentioned we have 2 infiltrators in our group, you're the Brass Consortium, and then we have we have Mandy, who's playing Raven, who's the Cult of Tenebris, and it's that at this point they diverge in very different directions. And so
yeah, but I even feel like from game 1, the way that, and you knew this going in, but I didn't, because I didn't have all the insight into Mandy's character. I'm like, oh, there's going to be 2 infiltrators. Aren't those going to be similar? And you're like, believe me, no. And from game 1, vastly different.
Vastly different, right? Yeah. I mean, again, because the Brass Consortium, showmanship, showy, have an entertainer background, right? They're the folks that are not your hard workers. They're your smart workers, and charisma based workers, right? So they're the ones they're out there doing gig work, and that's whether that's artistry or actual performance, or even a little bit of servants, like mixologists, whatever, right?
Yeah. And
so they all kind of fill into that cool, necessary service industry bar there. That's there's so many tiers and levels too. But if you've in your 20s and living in the city, like, most likely that's you're interacting with those folks.
Well, in real life, you can be in your and still
living that life. Still be living that life. It's true. So there's all of that. Whereas again, Mandy, Raven is playing is Cult of Tenebris, right? And they're occults, and they're secretive, and they have other agendas and different things going on in their lives, and it's not out in the open. Whereas, like, again, and that's the kind of the fun thing, I think, at least for for Reggie, is she's an infiltrator. She is an entertainer, and she does have work and job and all this other stuff, but she also has a particular skill set that can be applied in different ways. And so I look forward to seeing how that plays out for her. So
me too. I'm really excited, and I feel like at the end of the last game, there was a bit of shift in her viewpoint, and I look forward to exploring that. So
awesome. Yeah. So what are you enjoying most about Shadow City Mysteries?
I mean, honestly, one, you tell a fun story.
Dishonestly.
No, I'm gonna be. I could be dishonest. Let me make a roll. No. I'm not very good at that in real life. Well, I'm an actor, but as like when I'm not acting, I'm not.
Sure.
I'm hard on the sleeve. Now I really love your DM style. Your NPCs have a fun, like, they're fun. Even when they're serious, they're fun. So far. And I also
so far I was like,
so far.
We'll give it time.
It's noir. I know we're gonna get there, but I mean, we started with a murder. But I also just really love the way, like, all of the players at the table came from different places. A couple of us knew each other, but I don't think most of us have tabletop together. Just watching how everybody plays together, and how the team is building, and how we're learning everybody's niches and things like that. It's been a lot of fun to watch. So
no, it's really cool. And it's really, again, from my side as the game master, I actually know all of you in different ways. Like, again, I grew up with Mandy and Matt Walsh, like, from elementary school. Matt was actually the first tabletop games I ever ran were with Matt Walsh, who plays Ignatus, right? And I never got to play tabletop with Mandy, but now I went to school with them, and then now it's like, yeah, it's great. So the opportunities are cool, and then I know you from LARP and from tabletop too, and then Matt Bell, same thing. I was actually LARPing with him way before he fell into the group that we ended up meeting, Matt. So I've known him for forever, Matt Bell forever. So Farank, Katie, we've all LARPed with, and then Winston as well. Winston for forever. So
Yes.
it's cool to see everybody at the table together and seeing how they gel and they all have their moments, which is really, really cool.
Mhm.
And that's definitely something that, I'd be glad because everyone has been able to kind of have their moments, right, in their play style and how they do things. So and definitely want to make sure we do that. Actually was surprised. Yeah, actually enjoy. Yeah, okay. So what are you hoping to see more of in the House of Skye? This is just so I know like what you are enjoying and then what direction you're going, right? Because...
So I was talking with Matt Bell because Matt and I are both actors. I think we've mentioned before. And we're talking about acting murder. Yeah, right. We are not both murderers. But we'll chat about acting stuff on the side and then fall into Shadow City mystery talk. And I was like, I really want to have, because even though Reggie is charisma based, like she is also very sneaky. So I really want to have an opportunity to go on a heist where Franck is the face point distraction person, and I get to go be all sneaky because since the Brass Consortium counterweight kind of rides that line of spy / like they have some face abilities, I think it's a really fun pairing that could be a lot of fun. So and then just getting deeper into the mystery, who the heck is Eston? Like
so that's actually that's a better question. So what do you think do you think that is the biggest mystery of the story? Because I was talking with Winston about this. Like the thing is he was like, well, wait, what are we getting wrong? I was like, it's not they're getting anything wrong. It's just there's so many mysteries going on right now. You're chasing a lot of different threads as opposed to pulling on one thread, right? And then sometimes you tend to chase after things that I'm like are just the innocuous comment I make, and then you're like, this, and I'm like, whoa, no, but not no. It's fine. You can chase whatever you want to, right? I do like running more of a sandboxy. There's a story in the world, and it's going to be happening no matter what. But I do love having you all kind of chase after. But I am curious because, like, you say that, and I'm like, because to me, again, I know who Eston is, right? Very, very. But like when I hear that, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, what is the mystery of Eston, right? Like, is there?
Well, because he gets defensive is the wrong word, but because if you accuse him or you go after him, he gets like
deflected.
Evasive. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I feel is maybe something that he and Reggie might kind of have in common. That like even though there's this pull to bring this family together and build this legacy, there's still a lot of secrets being had. And so that's definitely a thing that needs to be figured out. But I think that the Murderbot insects maybe have taken precedence because now that's taken the quote unquote curse and affected us directly. Right.
Sure.
So I feel like through exploring who's trying to kill us or the workers or ruin what we're doing, we'll find out more about Eston.
Well, I mean, it's definitely a house of secrets, right? The trademark to somebody else. I mean, that's it. There's a history there. It's kind of an unknown, known / unknown, right? But that's like any famous family or whatever, right? There's always the things that you hear about, I don't want to say like the Skye households like the Kennedys or anything like that. They're not that quite that, but it's like that, right? Like think about, upper crust, they're not the Rothschilds either or anything like that, but there's a little bit of conspiracy, their name that has influence. So some of the things that people say are probably true and some things are probably not. There's probably a lot of things that people have paid a lot of money to never see the light of day. And so, but now you're in it, right? So it's not like you're outside of that. So you get to kind of open up those closets and see what skeletons are hiding in there. Hopefully, they're not animated. So
I mean, if they are, it'll be a fun adventure until I get laid out again. I mean, and I've been on plot committees and I've kind of run stories for games, and so like obviously you don't want all of those secrets all out at once, but as a character you can sure be like,
no. I think it's tough. It's like the pacing on it is like what's too much information up front, and then what is holding back. Like, am I holding back too much? Sometimes I'm always like but it's about. But again, I leave it to you all to ask the questions. If you ask the questions, maybe you'll get the answers. And if not, maybe you have to pull a little harder on that string to get the answers and everything.
Yeah.
Like that. So let's flip before we dive into Reggie's spa day. It's not a spa day. Let's flip the script for a moment. And have you. So maybe you can ask me some questions so I can divulge what I can a little bit from behind the scenes of what we've been doing.
Well, I planned 2 questions so I could feel a little bit more put together today at 10 p.m.
I appreciate 2 questions. We have time for 2 questions.
Yes. So have you discovered anything new about the world since you've DM'd? Because I know when you're writing a story and when you're running a story, they're 2 different things, right?
Yeah, a little. Well, so this kind of goes into something. So the Shadow City Mysteries role-playing game and then the House of Skye actual play are all part of the larger world, right? And so what I've discovered is I need to be very careful in the presentations of that because they kind of shape how the rest of the world gets affected. Now, the good thing is all the other products we're working on, the transmedia products, are very choose your own adventure, make your own choices matter kind of situation. So ultimately, our goal with Shadow City Mysteries is that it's your world. You make the choices you make, and in the end, the results that you get, that is your version of the story and the world, and that's perfectly fine. So the story I'm telling right now is my version of it, but it does not mean that it is the codified be all, the end all. Like this is how I portray the Rat King. How you end up choosing in our visual novel, how the Rat King ends up being and what skills they have and how they act at your table or whatever, that's up to you. I don't, that's the thing. So that has been the biggest one. Obviously it's forced me to kind of make some decisions on who some of the other players in the world are. And actually not even the major players. The major players I've always known. I've always known each of the major players, and the major players being the Rat King, the Union Boss, Mr. Siskin, the Cult of Tenebris, Jellify Winters, the politician who everyone loves, Madame Rose.
she's the sweetest.
Madame Rose. And then I just introduced earlier to Winston, another major player, the High Priestess, Unina Brightway, right? So these figures are all very big in the Shadow City Mysteries world, or at least the city of Soretta and Shadow City. And then for our larger project, but our more ambitious project, which is Shadow City Mysteries Clockwork Noir. These are all major secondary characters. They're our main characters in our visual novels. And so I want them to all have a touch point in this story because, you all are living the story of the House of Skye, and what that means for your characters. And obviously the focus is on that, but these people do exist in this world and you do have interactions with them. And so I want those to be meaningful to you as well. But it also means that, again, like I have to constantly be thinking, I'm like, all right, if I'm portraying this character this way, what does that mean for other people? So I always got to kind of caveat this is how I'm portraying it and how I see it in this world right now. But if I were to run another Shadow City Mysteries campaign, might be slightly different, right? I wouldn't necessarily lock it in necessarily to be that. Yeah. What else you got?
I do look forward to seeing how all of those pieces play together in the larger picture. How have you've kind of mentioned this a little bit, I guess. I was going to ask you, how have we players surprised you the most? And you said, I know you said that we tend to pick on little threads and comments that you didn't anticipate.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's well, I mean, that's one thing. It's again, I'll have a bunch of things kind of planned, and this is, I think, every storyteller is this. You're a bunch of plans, and then you have this nobody NPC, and then suddenly this NPC becomes the 45 minutes of conversation, and you're and revisits. I mean, we have Agna now.
Agna,
right?
yeah.
What? But that's fine. That's fine. I mean, that's what gives shape and color and makes the world feel more real and lived in and everything like that. I think the other thing, I think it's the, when you say Eston's the mystery, right? And I go, yeah, okay. Yeah, I agree. He's a person or whatever. There are other mysteries that we've put on, when we created the map, right? You guys put some stories or whatever. So there's those pieces there. And then there's my overall story that goes in there that I had already kind of subjugated you to. So it just kind of surprises me on like a week to week, day by day basis of what you all decide to chase after. But I think that's great. I think that's fine. The other one I was is it turns out that a day is 2 sessions for us. So like I had no idea how long. Like I always thought like we could probably get through a day, like a session in that but 2 hours is only so much time, right? But I think it's a healthy amount of time. I don't know if we could do long. We could do longer, but I don't think it's necessary. So yeah, that's really it. Otherwise, I mean, what didn't surprise me is how well y'all are gelling together. Like I had a feeling when we brought everybody together and we did the session zeros and we were talking and meeting, everybody was very, very courteous to each other about, even kind of like, well, I was thinking about playing this. Oh, okay, you could play that. But like, and in the end, it didn't really matter, right? Because everybody has their own character and everything like that. You've done, you all like, again, this isn't a surprise. It's more like I'm just a happy surprise. Is that everyone gels really well together, gives each other their space and their moments. They find times to like give the spotlight where they need to. The table is very, very open and sharing. I think that's awesome. Because that ultimately it's the creative endeavor for all of us. So
I'm absolutely enamored with everybody's character. Like every time they do a moment, I'm so in love with it. And I think we will move past Eston. He's just the common point we have.
Well, he's the common point. Well, he has to be, right? I mean, he's your patron. I mean, that's kind of the point, not the point, right? Like every show in the tabletop game, it's designed that you have a patron, right? Eston is an original patron that's not in the book. That's just designed for you all. And to build the story around. But you could have had the Rat King as a patron. You could have had, there's a character called Miss Mirrors as a patron. There's different patrons that exist in the world that you could have had. But we think it fits the motif of the noir of having someone who backs you or whatever. And again, the framing for this story is a family that comes together begrudgingly, right? And then begrudgingly, you have to have some, there's an elder statesman, right? Who or woman, dependingly. And in this case, it's Eston. In this case, you guys got lucky or unlucky. You have Eston as your.
I think. Well, I don't know. As a player, I think lucky. Obviously, it'll be it'll be a fun journey, But right now, the mystery is how do we work together and
sure, 100%. Well, that's function as a family. That's it, right? Yeah. And I think that'll definitely carry through. Like the intention of the game. Again, is the first 6 levels or so are like very street level mystery, stuff like that. And then 7 through 12, 13 is more towards the conspiracy kind of things that are happening in the world. And then we get past that, it's the crazy supernatural, all the funky. I mean, you'll get elements of that before that, but it's very heavily focused on that. So right now, as you're feeling each other out and getting an idea of like where your place is within the family and so forth. And I think what we're hitting right now in the subclass, right, and getting to that, I think it will help differentiate that a little bit more for you all, and you'll find your spots or whatever. And I think we'll move. We'll probably see a little bit more combat as well, and also probably a lot more combats in between levels, right? So kind of been the pacing has been like. You do a bunch of adventure or a little bit of mystery searching or whatever. We have an adventure, you level up. I think going to 4th, you're probably going to have to do a couple combat sections, which is good though, because I think that's where, again, I think we've done a pretty decent job with the classes having abilities that work outside of combat. But again, it's D&D. And so, I mean, it's not all tactical, but again, part of the fun of D&D is the combats and making those interesting and everything like that. So, we just have to remember that I am not a normally D&D game master. That's I usually do more story driven and games. So when Steven hands me a set of characters, I'm like, let's see if this kills the players. But I think that's part of the fun is the fact that I don't know and I'm not holding back. I'm just letting the rolls be what they are. Has made the combats at least a little bit more exciting. And you've all pushed through. You've all made it through. So
I don't remember who it was, but in one of the LARPs that I played, and I think you played too. Someone's like, I don't want to kill the characters. I just want to make them think that they're going to die because that's more fun.
Yeah. No, it is true. It is true. Though I think you do have to have that threat a little bit, right? You have to. I mean, you have to see it. Otherwise, the world doesn't mean anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, so there have to be some consequences and all of that.
Yeah. So let's take a little walk through Reggie now, and let's see here. Boop and boop. All right. So there's Reggie. All right. And so this has actually kind of been fun because now we can kind of go through like, what abilities do you have, and have you actually used them, and have they really come up, and maybe not, right? But it also maybe helped you go like, I know with Winston we were like, oh, I didn't even know you had that. I didn't either. Oh, that might be handy. So we'll see. So the servant's entrance. So this ability you haven't specifically used in the sense of what but you have used it in a role-playing way, which is kind of cool, right? So I mean, in this case, you get to you have advantage on charisma checks to pick up a particular job as an entertainer. We haven't really played into the whole like work aspect, but it's only the first week, right? So a lot of you have been very delinquent with your jobs. That may affect you eventually, but
I've done quite a few of my jobs, but
that's true. And you get advantage on charisma deception checks to pretend to be part of the entertainment to access the location. So that has not, well, it kind of has, but I mean, all the places you've been going to so far kind of let you in already. But I do like the fact that you do call on this a little bit for your role play, right? So you're like, when you go to the Brass Rose Cabaret, you're always like, I'm going through well, not always, but yeah.
And I think it's important because we're sometimes going around as the House of Skye, and she still has to be a sneaky little thing sometimes. So
sure. Brass prosthetic. So that's kind of the brass consortium's thing, right? So you have the brass prosthetic. Does it kind of get your turn student attunement limit? I don't even know it. Actually, I do talk to Steven. Do we actually still have that? I was the one that put this turnstone attunement limit in, but I don't think I have that. Let's see. You have brass pathetic. So you have an arm, and I think which I have here. Here you have your standard brass arm, which lets you punch a little harder. Right?
Yeah.
So, and you have, let's see, you haven't been grappled yet, but good to know that you can get plus 24. The resist to escape that. So that's probably something we'll need to try to keep in mind.
If only I had gotten the scorpion instead of the
If only you had gotten the scorpion instead of Raven. That's true. Poor Raven almost got cut in half. And then you get 24 to tool proficiency checks that use dexterity. There we go. See, we learn something new every day. 1d6 if you have 2 arms. And the most important part is your unarmed strikes. Do 1d4, or they increase. If you have an ability, which you didn't take that one, right? You didn't take the assault, which would have increased that. So
I did take assault, and I'm guessing if I were a brass consortium heavy, then that might have, if I had stronger unarmed strikes to begin with.
Well, no, you wouldn't want to be a heavy. I think no, you would. You made the choice, and I'm perfectly okay with you doing the because it does play into your skills, your special ability better. You took the infiltrator package, or whatever it is, espionage package.
Espionage,
yeah. But it actually would have worked because you are a dexterity fighter, right? So you could have taken the assault package and gone up the step and just been more deadly with your combat. But I do like the fact that and again, it's not off the table to switch out your package later on if you want to.
Yeah, it's expensive. You can't have 2, and I think it's doubly cost if you want to switch. But it's possible.
you have a patron, right? So so let's see here. Shine. This has come up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You kind of use your guidance, not as much as you would like to, but yeah, you have guidance, so that's pretty dope, and that comes from your background. And then you have a proficiency there. Sneak attack. So you get to deal an extra 1d6 damage when you have advantage, and you have finesse, which works well with your package, or your arm and everything like that, or ranged weapons. That's also good to know. And the extra damage is the same as the weapons type, which is pretty cool too. Actually, has it come into play? And you don't need advantage if you have one of your allies within 5 feet. So that's always good to remember, because traditional sneak attack is with advantage, right? This other part is kind of, I think, a specialty thing part of our sneak attack. And the extra damage increases as you gain infantry levels. So I think that actually went up recently for you, maybe.
Yeah, it did. I think also if I use a readiness point, then well, we're about to do that. Never mind.
Yeah, readiness. Yeah. So yeah, you have the readiness points. So you have a number of readiness points, which again goes up with your infiltrator level. You get them all after a long rest. Oh, and you get your proficiency bonuses back of readiness points when you take a short rest. So that's nice. But you can disengage, dash, dodge, whatever. You use readiness point as a bonus action to use the attack action to make one more attack. So that lets you kind of either hide and kill, or disengage and kill, or dash and kill, or whatever you need to do. That gives you a bonus attack. Yeah.
I think at one point it also gave. I know you guys changed it a little bit recently. I thought it gave me sneak attack even if I used it, but I could.
That might actually be the new version. I actually have not switched this to the version that
it might be the version, or I might have misread it. So I'd have to go back.
But that reminds me, I do need to update that, because all these are the older, or no, these are all the ones in your character sheet. So maybe they're up there. Anyway, we'll figure that out. Skilled sneak. This might be the one though, right? You can add 1d6 to your dexterity, intelligence, wisdom checks. This reduces your available. No.
I did use this in my conversation with Lore.
That's right, you did, which was handy.
Yeah. Just to make my non-combat roll a little better.
Oh, and now you can get your sneak attack dice back, not just after a long rest. Or no, this is your sneak attack dice, not your.
So I have the readiness points, and then I have my sneak attack dice are now, I think, 2d. I don't remember offhand, but 2d6. So I think I can use.
That's right. You could do it twice. Yeah, that's correct. Ready to hold out for being an infiltrator, so you can hide things easier. And I think you can also spend a point to have some stuff, some small concealable items on you. Actually, it goes up now that you had this other package. We'll talk about that in a second. And because we like to have like abilities that help with crafting, because crafting is a thing or whatever, you can spend ready points to reroll checks if you do the craft small items. I don't know which tools you have, but I'm sure you got them. And then you're about to pick up Hurtful Charm, which is kind of cool. So you can use your skilled sneak on charisma checks, which you couldn't do before.
No, before it was.
Dex, intelligence, and wisdom. So now it adds 4. So now you can do the charisma.
Which
that's dope.
Reggie is not very intelligent, so she's streetwise. She's not book smart. So being able to use charm.
That's fine. And then you can cast Charm Person, which is pretty dope, with a readiness point. And that's all a bunch of rule stuff. And when you attack target, you deal additional. This is kind of cool. So you do extra psychic damage to the characters. And then Knife in Your Boot. You upgraded to the espionage package. So that means instead of $10 worth, you get $15 worth for right now, because you have one limb. Mm-hmm. Should you get more limbs, it would go up. And then what does the espionage package do? Well, the espionage package lets you have basically just hidden compartments that you can hide tiny weapons.
Yeah. So I can make tiny weapons and hide them.
Tiny weapons, you can hide them. And it lets you, I guess you could also conceal your prosthetics if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, which might be helpful if I have to go in disguise, because I do have a disguise kit.
It's true. And anyone trying to detect your prosthetics has a harder time, or your concealed items has a harder time. Whoa! Don't thank me. Jerk.
With the ready holdouts and the being able to hide things more easily, I'm like, I should have picked something up in that shop when we went to go deliver Eston's gift. I should have just like five finger discounted something.
Oh yeah,
that would have been
true.
Fun.
That would have been good. All right. So now, where is this? Oh my goodness. There we go. So now we're going to go to your spa day. So it was Wednesday evening. You can go about practicing or doing whatever you want to. Everyone kind of just went to their respective rooms to do their own things, pray, eat, love, whatever. And then the next morning, there's an envelope underneath your door. It has monies, and it has a note to go to the Brass Rose Cabaret.
All right. How much money is in the? I open the envelope and I look.
It's a good amount of money that at this moment you're like, I'm just going to put this in my pocket and I will know exactly how much money I have.
That sounds great. And
it's more money than you got the last time. How about that? Like,
that's great because I did just spend a large chunk of it on tips the last time I was at the Brass Rose.
Yeah, that's fine. And then it like again, the invoice kind of says like for, work of the House of Skye, pest removal. No, it's not pest removal. It's like, well, it's mechanical pest removal, right? And then this and this, and then like, goes through a list of all the things you kind of done, but like in a very like it's obviously written by Miss Dreadmire, right? And it's in like kind of details all your activities over the last last level of speaking to people, tying up things, getting people invited, dealing with whatever, but it in a very formalized kind of way of explaining those kind of things, right? So
Reggie will shake her head because it still feels very weird to straddle this line of job and family. Like
it does feel very 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 much in that sense, and it's kind of like it's not even written out like payment, it's like allowance, right? Like so
it's like like chores, like when you give a child chores, but
that's exactly that. It's exactly that. So the Hans is taking people into town, so and he's been going back and forth, right? So people have been kind of getting up and doing their things at different times. He offers to drive you to the Brass Rose Cabaret.
Yeah, I'd love a lift. Thanks.
All right. And drives. You could have a conversation. He could just drop you off, whichever you wish.
I mean, I think Reggie will be like, I know last time you drove me here, I asked you incessant questions. I'll give you some peace this time.
Whatever. He just turns on he goes fine, and he turns on the radio, and it's just light music playing or whatever, and you see him kind of tapping, not with a rhythm or anything like that. So like it's a person without a rhythm but likes music. This is kind of tapping along to the as they drive. He drops you off at the Brass Rose Cabaret. There is like a back entrance where he could drive down, but he doesn't. He just drives you to the front piece of the because there are trucks that are loading and unloading because it's a Thursday. At the Brass Rose Cabaret.
Things are gonna start getting hopping. Well, I will walk in the front door because
you got been invited. Yeah.
I've been invited, and there's not anybody that I'm trying to lean any certain way, but
sure. And so the maitre d' and the valets at the front, they let you in. Immediately you're kind of escorted upstairs to meet with Madame Rose. And I was showing let's see. This is still kind of a work in progress, but we've only showed the outline of Madame Rose, and it's probably going to be more towards the one on the side here on the right hand side. But they're all kind of, but just to give you a little sneak peek of our work in progress with Madame Rose.
I love it.
But she is entirely made of for the most part brass prosthetics. And she greets you and she's like, Reggie.
Hi.
So pleasant to have you here. I been made aware by your grandfather that you've reached some great achievements. perhaps need some guidance in your future.
I don't know how many achievements I've reached, but I certainly am feeling a little off balance.
Off balance. Well, perhaps we can counter that for you. And with that, she's please have a seat, and she's like, a drink, anything?
Sure. Can I have a gin Ricky?
Fizzy Temple, you say? No, a gin Ricky. Yes, that's fine. So she.
I mean,
she
if you don't, if I shouldn't drink, I won't drink.
No. She gets you. She gets you. She waves to one of the services, and there are other people, like workers there or whatever. They're just kind of like not like they pop in and out, or they're kind of looking for contact to see if they need to come in and do anything, right? So they come in. She tells them to fetch you a drink. They go and do, and they bring it to you quite quickly. And she's sitting there smoking her long, the cigarette holder and smoking. And you get the smell of the smoke it's not just necessarily the typical tobacco smoke. There's a little bit more to it. But it's an interesting blend of exotic. You could tell it's not a local thing normally.
Does it look like something that was maybe included in her gift box from Eston?
No.
Okay.
No, this is just her. It looks like her usual. You see that there's on her desk like a little like rolling kit, right? And so you see a mix of different tobaccos and we'll just say leaves. I mean, not tobaccos, leaves, and then papers and so forth. And so she has a couple of different things prepared for herself. And kind of just and she's like, oh, do you smoke?
No, I don't. I should maybe take it up. It might help my nerves a little bit.
Maybe it's some say it's a filthy habit, but we all have habits.
I say whatever keeps you sane. Exactly.
And so you're part of the consortium. You've done good work. And we like to reward good work. And I understand that your work tends to lend itself similarly to my own. And so I like to reward those within our organization. And so I thought perhaps two things. One, I could guide you in our specialities in the delicate works, the dexterous works, if you will. And then two, I have someone here who would like to meet you and perhaps outfit you with some upgrades.
Oh.
And with that, a very, very thin man with proper gloves and a mustache that's properly oiled and comes in and is like, yes. It's like, this is the Reggie Wrenne you spoke of, yes? I am how do you say? I am the outfitter.
Is this the one that I know?
It is.
All right. It's nice to finally meet you.
Yes, I apologize. I heard you were looking to send an invitation. I've not that I've been quite busy, but I have been busy. My work takes me to all over the city to work with the very, very particular clients that they're in need. But when the rose speaks, I listen. And so I wish to offer you my skills, if you will. Perhaps I can outfit you with some new accoutrements for your prosthetic. Yeah, I
would love that.
Excellent. What are you thinking? You want to or you want to hide things, or Are you looking to grapple people? What would be?
If you would have asked me that a week ago, I probably would have said I just want to cause as much damage as I can.
We can do that.
I have heard that that's a possibility, but I think that life is taking me in a slightly different direction.
Of course, that's just what life is for.
Yes, and so I don't. Maybe something that can be sneakier that I can disguise
Hide some little
if I
thing.
need to.
Disguise, hide some little things in. Yeah, we can do that. Do you want another?
Another? Not at this time.
And Madame Rose goes, if you wish, not at this time, but in the future, the consortium will cover additional upgrades for you.
That's good to know. I'm going to be real honest. I hadn't ever considered it.
Well, I understand. Some do, some don't. Some are happy with what they have, and others wish to have more. It's a fine line. Some feel that it's necessary, and others, it isn't, and it's just more of a life choice. We are here to support whatever you decide, but the consortium is more than happy to cover what costs, and this could be for many things regarding this. So not just one. If you wish, we can do this.
I appreciate it. I will certainly give it some thought. I don't think it's something that I just want to jump. This is not a decision I want to jump into.
Of course. And he's like, of course. It would be more involved and it would take more time. So, but this is something that I can do for you. Not the problem. He goes, yes.
What do I owe you? I'm trying to figure out the nicest way to put this.
You owe
what
nothing.
Do I owe you in return?
This is on the consortium.
All right.
Being a member of the faction has its benefits.
All right. Well, I won't argue it.
Yes. And Madame Rose goes, that is a good question. I will say this: the upgrade is no cost whatsoever. The other things we offered are a gift, but as you know, no gift is without its price. And so what that price may be would most likely be a favor or something else in the future. But she does say on this grand occasion of you wanting to learn these things and provide more to the consortium, I do offer you this if you do not wish a new upgrade, but besides the upgrade to the singular piece, if you do not wish additional. And she goes over to her little like painting that opens up with the little vault that you've seen before, and you see the coins or whatever. And she comes back and she brings you one of her coins, which is a brass coin with a rose and the symbol that you saw before. So the rose and then the brass consortium symbol on the other side with the hand. And she hands it to you, and she's like, "This is for you."
Thank you. And I'm happy to provide favors or services. I've told you before.
Of course, but this is not required now.
All right.
This is simply a gift and acknowledgement for good works. Now, if you do wish to learn the ways of our particularities in your skill set, I am happy to train you personally in these ways.
That would be an honor.
And she goes, excellent. Then if you don't mind spending the next couple days with me, I will run you through a number of lessons, if you will.
I could not think of a more pleasant place to spend my time.
Excellent. And she turns to the tailor, Oren, and she goes, Oren, that is all for today. He goes, yes, Miss Wrenne, please come back to. He gives you an address. He's like, come to this address today or tomorrow, later on, whenever the time allows, and I will make sure you are upgraded appropriately.
Will I be able to keep because Reggie has a bunch of etchings on her arm that match the tattoos on her body.
Oh yes, of course.
Right.
I am no amateur. I can. He looks at you. He goes, I can make this work. It's just fine.
I never thought you were an amateur. I just thought I ought to make.
No. I understand. Of course. I am an artiste. This is well within the bounds of what my skills can do. Like I said, I could do this and much more. So, this is what you wish.
Yes.
We can make this work.
Thank you.
And then he is, I will leave you to your business, and he leaves himself out. With that, the door shuts, and Madame Rose goes, well, let's begin your training then. And she takes you over to a wall, and she presses something on the wall, and a door kind of opens to an area that you hadn't seen before. I didn't even know there was a door there. And there is a man who is kind of tied up to a chair, and you semi-recognize him. I mean, you can give me a history roll if you want.
Yes. 10.
He's a not specifically as you recognize him as a politician within the city. And you go, and the Madame Rose simply goes, this good politician has volunteered to let us practice upon him. And with that, she kind of goes over to a wall and grabs a kind of whipping small horse riding crop, and then we'll fade the black. And you'll pick up with your montage of training with the Madame Rose. You can fill in the blanks of where that goes with the skills that you've recently picked up of charming and psychically damaging people.
I think as we fade to black, Reggie looks at the politician and just goes, since she's been told he's volunteered, thank you for your service.
Exactly. And you don't see fear in his eyes. You just see almost, whatevers. So it's definitely a way of, so you learn the fine arts of extracting information with charm and pain in those moments. And so, yeah, the next couple of days are a lot of that. And then also going to the tailor and getting outfitted in his shop. The thing that you do find interesting is that the shop itself is not a permanent location. It looks like it's kind of like a pop-up, like a pop-up kitchen or a pop-up store or pop-up whatever. It's a pop-up prosthetic shop, right?
But it's not the same way that the Cult of Tenebris store was hard to find.
No. It's just literally they find location, they're like the spirit of the Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Right. So it was like a Toys R Us, and now it's a cybernetic shop. Yeah.
All right.
Cool. All right, and then we'll pick back up on Saturday. Well, not our Saturday, but the in the world Saturday. So you have a couple days with Madame Rose, and then you also have a little bit of time with the tailor to get outfitted up. And then on Saturday, when you join the family, should you choose to, or you could forgo them forever now that you're well within the good graces of the Brass Consortium, you'll be able to you'll be level 3 and have the skills that you need to move forward, and a closer contact and connection with the Brass Consortium as well. So before we let you leave, Ariel, why don't you tell us where they could find you on the interwebs, if they could find you on the interwebs, and
Yeah, you can find me on the interwebs on most social media. On any social media that I'm on, I'm Ariel Kasten. And I also have a link tree that has like upcoming events on it. I don't have any currently, but it's got stuff like my older audio dramas that I've been a part of and things like that. And you can also find me on my podcast, Large Nerdron Collider.
When's the next episode of that coming?
We recorded one this evening before I jumped on here, so it should be out tomorrow.
Awesome. So check that out. And tomorrow would be Saturday. Real people's time.
Yes. I mean,
it's Friday evening. It's a special edition.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
And so before I close out the special edition where we did not talk about drugs again.
I'm sorry. Don't do drugs, kids.
Or do them. We're not your parents. So we don't know your life. You need to. We'll do a special shout out to the people behind the scenes before we close. So for game design and writing, Stephen Cheney and Brendan Stoddard. For tarot design and writing, Rabbit Stoddard. Character design, Adam Schumpert. You can see the cool character next to Ariel. I don't know which side. And then tarot and symbol design, Luana, Zahra. Wait, yeah, there we go. Adam Schumpert, character design, Luana, Zahra, tarot and symbol design, and Fleur Sciortino for graphic and UI design of the Wanderer's Dome. Thank you. I'm Christopher Mifsud. I've been your game master and host for the evening. And tune in tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern time for another special edition where we probably won't talk about drugs either, where we one-on-one with both the Matts. It just so happens that you get Matt do. So yeah,
so exciting.
Check it out. Very exciting. All right. Thanks everybody. Appreciate you. Cheers.